I would say, and I've seen this so many times recently, that veganism is a non-action. Like, it's great that you're not eating animals and their secretions, but like the world isn't going to change by you just doing that. Even like you said, sharing stuff online on your social media, putting leaflets through people's doors, anything. Like, you don't have to speak to people basically.
Hello beautiful beings, my name is Rebecca and I'm a vegan Pixie warrior. Welcome to my channel. If you've not been here before, my channel is all about uplifting other animal rights activists and talking about the Liberation Pledge. Hopefully giving you new ways to become active for the animals. So if that sounds like your sort of thing, hit that subscribe button, like and share this video, and let's get on. Today I'm going to share an interview I did with an amazing activist called Laura. I'm hoping that by the end of it you'll be inspired to do something that she's doing and use your own talents and strengths to advocate for the animals. So without further ado, here's Laura. So Laura, I want to welcome you and thank you for joining me on my channel today to talk about your activism. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to get talking to you about this amazing project, and I'm hoping that it will inspire other artists to do something similar.
Hope so too.
Yeah, so do I really do. But I want to ask you the same question I ask everybody that I interview is, when did you become vegan and what was the catalyst that made you make that choice?
Okay, so this might be quite a long rambling story.
Oh, wow.
So I was vegetarian from about the age of 8. I can't remember a time when I ever actually liked eating meat. And I've got this vivid memory of being in a supermarket when I was maybe about 6 or 7, helping my mum do the shopping and picking up like a lump of meat. I think it was a bit of pork. And you know, sometimes the packets leak. And I basically ended up with like all this blood down me. So that probably freaked me out. And I think that was when I made the connection that this was actually someone, you know, this used to be alive, and that probably, yeah, hated that. So I didn't want to eat meat from that point on. And yeah, I basically went vegetarian. It wasn't, my parents weren't exactly happy about that because this is quite a long time ago and we didn't have like the internet and all of the resources and stuff that we've got now. So it was kind of a, what the hell are you going to eat? And I basically ate Linda McCartney pies for a long time. And it's only very recently that I've been able to start eating them again because I was sick to death of them. In terms of becoming vegan, my actual decision was overnight, but the process of getting there was quite drawn out. So when my eldest niece was born, my sister was breastfeeding and my niece was really unwell. And it turns out she had CNPA, so cow's milk protein allergy. So my sister cut out all milk and like derivatives at that point, and my niece got a lot better, but my sister wasn't vegan and we hadn't like made the connection about, you know, the fact that it was cow's milk and it was meant for cows rather than, you know, humans and all that kind of thing. And so at that point, that was when I got into drinking oat milk. But again, I still didn't make the connection, and I would still be having cow's milk as an ingredient in other things, the same as having eggs and everything else. But I never really liked either of those things. I wouldn't just sit and eat like a boiled egg or a fried egg or drink a glass of milk because just the thought of it just repulsed me. But I genuinely thought that you had to have these things in your diet, otherwise, you know, you just like shrivel up and die. So yeah, I just carried on, and again, still didn't become vegan. Yeah, and then I sort of got into social media and I found out about Yulin, something that I'd never even heard about before, and I was horrified about that. So I was posting everything on Facebook and Instagram, like, oh my god, how can people do this to cats and dogs? It's disgusting, blah 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 blah. And I like hadn't considered that we do exactly all of those things to pigs and cows and sheep and chickens, etc. It's just that it's, you know, it's behind closed doors. Whereas Yulin stuff is just straight there, isn't it? It's out, it's in your face, and everybody can see it, and it's not hidden. So again, still didn't become vegan, but I was like ranting about all this stuff online, and it's amazing how many people are on board with that and like supportive and like signing petitions and like sharing stuff, which you obviously totally don't get when you start talking about pigs and chickens and things. They're just like, oh yeah, whatever, that's just lunch, isn't it? But the actual turning point, the catalyst, was driving to work one day. I had to take a diversion, and it meant that I went past small dairy farm that I had no idea even existed, and just seeing the cows and the state that they were in, how emaciated they were. I've continued going that way, even though this was like 4 years ago, just because I want to see them and I want to acknowledge that they're there, and just I feel like I'm maybe one of the few people that actually knows what they're going through, really. So seeing them and then seeing the calves in a separate little area, and just, I don't know, it broke my heart, and I realised I was part of the reason why they were there, and I didn't want to be part of that anymore. So then that was it. I just decided to become vegan. I hadn't really done any research, or didn't really know what I was going to eat or anything like that, and I hadn't watched videos about, you know, how they make cows pregnant and all that sort of thing. Like, that came later, but it was seeing them there. I just, that was it for me. So that was my rambling story about how I became vegan.
Not a rambling story, every story. I like, one of my favorite things about doing this YouTube channel is, and one of my favorite things about doing activism with other vegans, is hearing what made them go vegan. And you didn't need any graphic images to make that connection. You know, and it's funny as well, I would say 90% of the people I speak to, it's the dairy industry that makes them go vegan. And maybe that's because when you're vegetarian, you're still having dairy and eggs. But I never hear about it's never the eggs industry. It's always the dairy industry. And it was the same for me. I watched a video of a calf being taken away from the mother, and the mother chasing the calf. And I was like, what? No, that's it. I'm done. And we'd cut down, people have heard this before, but I was having meat one day a week, and then we didn't have any dairy anyway, but we were having plant-based all week apart from one day, and it was 3 videos in one day that I watched, but that one, watching the dairy calf, that was it for me. That was definitely
I think it is the worst, isn't it, because it encompasses everything. It's got all of the things that we do to all of the other animals, but in one industry. And people just don't realise. And obviously I was ignorant for the bigger part of my life about something that I was contributing to, and if I could change that, I absolutely would. I wish that I had known as a child all of the things that I know now, maybe in a less graphic way, but had that knowledge, and I would have been vegan from the outset, I think. So
yeah, I mean, I told my parents I wanted to go vegetarian when I was about, I think I was 12 or 13, and I've got a heart condition. They were like, no, you can't, you have to eat animals. Excuse, that's Kira. She's an adopted kitten, so just excuse her in the background. But yeah, they said I couldn't. I had to have animal products for my heart condition. I had to eat meat for my heart condition. Which,
it's ludicrous, isn't it? Like, with all the knowledge that we have now about, you know, exactly what eating meat does to you. Yeah.
And the fact that I had a heart checkup 6 months before I went vegan, and then I had a heart checkup 6 months afterwards. I have yearly checkups, and she said, oh my God, there's both of them now. And she said that my heart was functioning as normal when I went back. And she said, what have you done? And I said, I've cut out animal products from my diet. And she went, well, whatever you've done, keep doing it, because I have never in my 44 years on this planet been told my heart is functioning as normal. That was the first time I got told it. And I was just 41 at the time. I'd only been vegan for 6 months. So
that's incredible.
It is, yeah. But it's the dairy industry. It breaks my heart. I'm not a mother, but I still get the connection. But I also remember saying to people before that, well, cows need to be milked, and we've always
exactly, and they eat grass and they make milk, and that's it. That's the only process involved. I
actually thought that they ate grass and that's how the milk was produced. Like,
I swear that's what you get in all the children's books about like farms and stuff. It's like, look at the cows in the field eating grass, and now we're going to take them to the milking parlour, and it's like, that's it.
It's mental. But it's just what you said about wishing you'd known sooner. Me too. I think every vegan I've ever spoken to said they would never go vegan, and then when they went vegan, they're like, oh, wish I'd done this like years and years ago. And I kind of feel like I'm making up for lost time by being as active as I actually physically can, like
talking to people at every opportunity, and like I remember when my sister cut dairy and things out. Oh my God, how can you do that? Like, what do you eat? How are you going to survive? You know, no chocolate. Like, what kind of life is that? And it's like, oh my God, such an idiot. And I swear, vegan chocolate is 100 times better than any regular chocolate. So,
well, I've not really missed that much of chocolate because I never liked milk chocolate anyway. I always liked dark chocolate. So there's not been much of a change for me. The chocolates that I've always eaten, the chocolates that I still eat now, like green and black's
yeah.
one with the ginger pieces in
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Oh my God, I love it. But yeah, and then the makeup wasn't a problem either because I've kind of always used products that were not tested on animals anyway, because it was something I've always been fiercely against, and buying Lush products and stuff like that for years, and even with like margarines and butter, I bought Pure for years, about 12 years before I went vegan. I've been buying Pure.
Yeah,
it's better for my heart. So yeah, still like eating like red raw steaks and stuff, like what? So my next question is, whereabouts in the world are you based?
Okay, so I'm in Gloucestershire. I'm sort of on the edge of the Cotswolds, which is both brilliant and horrific because we have wonderful countryside, but with that we have lots of livestock, which means that I'm regularly seeing trucks full of animals being taken to slaughter, and knowing that any animals that I do see in fields are only there because people want to eat them. So that's pretty horrific. And I can remember when I was back at secondary school during like BSc, foot and mouth, just huge piles of animal bodies being burnt, and just like the smoke and the smell. That's something that's never going to leave me. Again, I was vegetarian back then, not vegan, but I got there in the end.
Yeah. You're there now, so and that's good. And how long between you've been vegan for, did you say 4 years now?
4 years, yeah.
Happy big anniversary if it's just, by the way. I had mine last month as well, and it was 4 years too.
Ours is the same date or very close date.
I think mine's is the 20. I get the dates wrong all the time. It's the 27th, I think.
Oh, okay, mine's 25th of August. So
it was the Sunday or the Monday. No, it was the Monday of the bank holiday weekend. 2017.
Yeah, same year. Yeah.
Wow. How long did it take for you to get active with animal rights after going vegan then?
Probably about 1.5, 2 years. Again, it's mostly just because of my insane shyness and fear. Like I'd see loads of things online of other people doing all this amazing activism, just think, well, I'm not confident enough, I can't do that. Like I'll just like make an idiot of myself, or I'll turn people away from veganism. I think that's my biggest fear. But the first thing I did was basically sharing anything I came across online. So like I said before, that started off with sharing all the stuff I could find about Yulin because I was horrified about that. And then that opened the floodgates to seeing all other kinds of animal abuse. And well, it's not even considered abuses, it's just standard practice. So yeah, just sharing all those sorts of things on my Instagram. And then I became addicted to buying vegan t-shirts, which is still a problem. I've maybe got about 60 now, which is
wow.
Yeah, it's insane. It is actually a problem. Anytime I go anywhere and there's t-shirts, it's like, oh, I'll just one of them, but I do genuinely wear them, and because I can wear what I want to work, I get to wear a different one all the time, and it's constantly like, oh, what does it say today? And I'll be horrified by the message, but gets the word out, doesn't it?
I thought I had a problem because I was putting away some shirts after vegan camp out. I need to make more room because I've got like my band t-shirts, so like Queens of the Stone Age and Foo Fighters and things, and then I've got like my anime t-shirts, like Studio Ghibli stuff, and then I've got my activism t-shirts, and I've kind of found this new, well, since I started my channel, I got introduced to this guy, and his site is called Defender of Animals.
Oh yeah, I know yeah.
Oh God, I've almost got all of them now because he gives half the money to an animal sanctuary as well. So it's like double activism in my mind.
It's like supporting a small vegan business, and they're giving some of their profits to a sanctuary, and you're walking around with
he gives 100% of his profits. Take any profit at all from it.
That's brilliant.
So, yeah. And you're walking around, and I love the looks I get when I'm wearing it. My favorite one is "My food didn't beg for mercy."
Oh,
I love that one. And then when we were on our way to camp out, we stopped at the supermarket, and I was walking around. I had my Save hoodie on. I just realized I've got like veganism extreme until you've got body parts in your freezer. So I took my hoodie off, and I was just like, walking around exactly with her chest out like a peacock. And my husband's just like, oh, what are you doing? This old lady came up to me and she went, what does your t-shirt say, dear? And she held my t-shirt and read it. She went, oh, very nice.
Very nice. I'm wearing one of my favorites today.
Okay, let's have a look. Oh yeah, I love that one. I haven't got that one.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah,
I'm not wearing a vegan t-shirt today. I'm naughty.
Putting the side down. Should be wearing them at all times.
I'm working from home in a moment, so I did wear one when I went to the vets earlier, one with the kittens. So they definitely know that I'm a proper, animal lover. Not like them eating their own patients. Yeah. But yeah, t-shirts are like my favorite things. And I think people think, and I'm glad that you said about doing online activism and sharing posts everywhere. I think when you say activism to people, they think a cube of truth, or they think, well, I'm going to mention them because I'm an organizer now, like a We the Free event, which is quite new. Or they think of Meet the Victims, storming, or direct action, DXE. They don't think about the little things like sharing posts on Facebook or wearing the t-shirt. And wearing the t-shirt is one of my favorite. It's up there.
It's so easy because you've got to wear clothes. So
yeah, you've got to wear clothes. Yeah, and you don't have to speak to anyone. You just wear a t-shirt, and you're probably never going to see those people in the shop again.
Exactly.
She's very distracting. Have you done any other activism apart from the t-shirt wearing and posting online?
I have. So I did the first Bristol March that you organised, and I loved that. So that then made me want to do the London one, because again, I was too scared because I didn't have any vegan friends, so I didn't have anyone I could go with. And I just thought I'll go along by myself and be a bit of a sad loser. But because I know Bristol, I was quite happy to go to that one, because I thought if I'm having a really horrific time, I can just bail and I can just go home. But like I say, I loved it. And then I went to the London one, and I now have a brilliant vegan friend that I met at the London March. So we go out and get food together all the time, and we've since done more activism together, which is brilliant. And then as a result of doing that and feeling a little bit more confident and kind of fired up, I did a couple of AV cubes, and then COVID and all that nonsense hit. So that stopped that for ages. So during COVID, I started being more creative and getting back into art and stuff, which is something that I'd always loved. And university basically destroyed my love of drawing, so I hadn't really done any for ages. But lockdown was the perfect opportunity. So I thought, well, I started drawing animals and things, and at least it's what I'm interested in. I've always been interested in animals, but art with a message, basically, sort of with a purpose. So yeah.
And that's the main reason I brought you on today as well, because we can see behind you some of your jackets that you painted. Can you hold some of them up closer to the camera so people can see?
I apologize, my camera's really terrible. I don't know if you can see.
That's fine, don't worry. People can see. Honestly, if you want to see how good this is, you need to get on her Instagram and check out the images on there, or even on mine. I think I've shared them a couple of times. But what's happening with these jackets behind you then? Can you tell people?
So these are currently in a raffle that I'm doing to raise funds for Dean Farm Trust and Farm Animal Rescue Sanctuary. So this is the fourth raffle that I've done. All of the previous ones I only did for Farm Animal Rescue Sanctuary. And I thought, I've got 4 jackets, I'll do it for the 2 sanctuaries this time. And I thought it might help spread the message a bit more. And I've actually been to Dean Farm about 4 times. I was there on Saturday. It's one of my favourite places. I still haven't been able to go to FARS because they've basically been closed due to COVID and everything. Yeah. So that's one of my goals, to go there. But yeah, all of the information about the raffle is on my Instagram. It's just got a really stupid name, Fuchsia Havoc. And yeah, basically all of the money that's raised from it will go directly to the 2 sanctuaries. And I will post the jackets to the winners free of charge. So
and is that UK only, of course?
It was open to worldwide, but nobody from anywhere else in the world has entered so far. But
well, yeah. if it's open to worldwide, then I've got a lot of I've got probably more international viewers than I've got UK viewers. So if they can enter as well, I wasn't sure about that. So,
yeah, I stopped putting it on the posts because nobody had, but it is still, I've sent them anywhere. So
that's cool. What I'll do is I will put all the links in here, and And the video that's meant to be going up on Thursday, I'm going to push it back a week, and I'll get this edited as soon as possible to get it up for this week. So when does the raffle close?
It's going to be the 10th of October that it closes. I hadn't decided. I only decided today because it's been a bit of a struggle to get it seen and get the information out there. I handed out a load of flyers at Camp Out, and there hasn't really been much success since then. But so it's a little bit soul destroying.
Well, hopefully this will help. What happens is I'm part of an amazing group, and they just like we share each other's content all the time. So hopefully it'll get out there and get spread, and people will see it, because I'm in and I want to win one, but I also want
I was going to say at the moment you stand a very high chance.
That's fine. No, but I want you to raise the money that you're wanting to raise for these animal sanctuaries. Bless you. Because it's really important, and animal sanctuaries are such a close thing to my heart. Like, I love Dean Farm as well. I've been there a few times, and I really do admire them. I've got a monthly donation that goes out every month. It's only like a £5, but it's still £5 a month, so every penny counts. And then there's Pear Tree, which I absolutely adore. And going back to what we were talking about earlier with Defender of Animals clothing, half of the profits go to Pear Tree and then another sanctuary. So, I try and buy something off their Amazon wish list every month, just even if it's just one small thing and it's just a £5, it's something to help out. So, and your artwork is absolutely stunning. It's brilliant. I can't wait to win one. If I don't win one, I'm going to commission one and then donate the money to the animals.
Absolutely, I'd be more than happy to do one for you. So.
And that's the other thing you said as well, when I messaged you about the jackets and how much they are and things. You said that you would happily make one for someone and then they would pay the proceeds to an animal sanctuary. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't do it because I want to make money or get more followers or anything like that. I genuinely just wanted to try and do something to try and help the animals. I can't go and storm into slaughterhouses and rescue animals or anything like that. So this is the best that I feel that I can do at the moment. So
same. I can't go into slaughterhouses and rescue animals. I wish I could, but I can't do it. So what I can do is share amazing people like you, the people that we don't hear about, the people that are actually doing things, for the animals, that, don't have a big light shine on them, like Joey Carbstrong or that vegan couple or whoever they are out there. Or even Vegan Booty. I mean, she's still got quite a relatively small following, but she's doing amazing work. But things like this, people supporting sanctuaries, is so important as well. Sorry. That's Jen, by the way. And did you have any, because you said about shyness as well, so I'm guessing that stopped you from going for a Cube of Truth for so long?
Yeah, absolutely. And the couple that I have done, and I obviously did the We the Free with you last weekend or the weekend before.
Weekend before last, yeah.
Yeah. I'm happy to be part of it, and I'm happy to stand in the diamond or the cube the entire time. It's just talking to people. Even talking to people that I know is terrible. I'm just really bad at conversations. So the thought of having to speak to somebody about something that I'm so passionate about and not get ridiculously upset and not get really angry with them, I just don't feel like I'm in a place to be able to achieve that at the moment. So being in the cube or in the diamond and being able to observe and overhear the conversations that are going on, I found that really useful. Just gaining an insight into how other people tackle some of the ridiculous questions. It's the stupid thing is, I know the answers because I've watched so much and I've read so much, but it's just when it actually comes to it face to face with somebody, I know that I'll forget crucial things. And
that's fine. It's about doing it when you're ready, and the fact that you're willing to stand there. And I said to you, didn't I said, I don't want you standing there for the whole 3 hours. You have to talk to anyone, but you must go and have a break, because it's really hard work.
It is. You wouldn't realize how tiring it is standing still.
And hold
takes, doesn't it?
Exactly. And if you've got a tablet, it's not so bad, but if you're holding a laptop, they get heavy quick. Really quick, and then you get everything gets stiff. I mean, you're a lot younger than me, but I'm I can do 20 minutes, and that's my most I can do. And I've had my ankle's been broken twice in the same place, so that's probably why I can't stand there long. But that's so important, because people stood there in the diamond or in the cube. That's what brings the public in, and that's what attracts them to what we're doing. If it wasn't for people standing there holding screens and wearing masks or bandanas, then we wouldn't have the public stopping to have those conversations. So it's just as important as the people that are doing the outreach. There's to me, they're equally as important, because you're there, and the numbers are what makes it. And I feel like I'm starting again with We the Free, because I managed to get the Bristol Cube of Truth up to like 22 volunteers every time, and it was brilliant. And then lockdown happened, and then I've left them and gone on to We the Free, and it's quite new and no one's quite sure about it. And we're starting again, but it's starting to build up some regular faces, so it's good. And hopefully within the next 6 months we'll be back to where we were before.
Well, I fully intend to come to as many as I can, so.
You are more than welcome. I loved having everyone there. I really do. Like, I just feel so relaxed when I'm with other vegans, because I suffer with anxiety as well, and I worry about seeing non-vegan friends, because my husband's like, don't talk about it, and I'm like, he is vegan, but he's like, don't talk about it, because it always ends up in an argument. Like, well, if they ask me a question, I'm going to talk about it.
Exactly. And it's always the people that aren't vegan that bring veganism up, yet we're the ones that always tell everyone how vegan we are or whatever. It's like, no, that's not how it works.
Yeah, it's like my old boss, whenever someone new would start, he'd go, and this is Rebecca, our local vegan. And I was like, I didn't mention it, you did.
Yeah.
So,
it's like, sorry, am I supposed to be ashamed that I'm vegan? Because I'm really not.
I'm not. I was like super proud, super proud.
Same.
And so how did you find out about doing the Cubes of Truth and the We the Free event? How did you get involved?
So all of that basically was just, again, through social media. I don't know what we did before all of that, to be honest. Yeah, and I like, again, the Cubes, they were in Bristol, and like I said, I know Bristol, so I felt more confident going to those, because at least I knew where I was going. And yeah, so that was all right. And then the Bath Diamond for We the Free the other weekend, I went with my friend who I met at the London March, so that was good. But yeah, she's a vegan legend. She's been vegan for 32 years, so yeah.
And she'll be able to tell you how events like that used to happen before in social media. I spoke to Ronnie Lee, who's a legend and amazing, and I adore his laugh. I just love speaking to him. But it used to be advertised in newspapers, so you see an advert in the newspaper, and he said back then the marches would be huge, because it wouldn't just be vegans that would come to the animal rights marches, it would be the people that were doing the hunt sabs and things like that, so, and the badger cults, the people that were doing that, and so it would be massive, and it would be so many people from loads of different areas of the UK. He said actually in comparison the marches are quite small now compared to what they used to be like, which is sad, but you know, I think we just need to get more feet on the ground. That's what I think. And then what's your favourite, I know the answer to this because they're behind you, but what's your favourite form of activism?
Yeah, I would say artivism. So basically trying to raise awareness through art and beautiful things. Because like I say, I've always loved being creative, and I struggled in the past with making or drawing things and then not really having anything to do with them. And with this, I feel like it's got a purpose, it's got a message, and then someone's going to win or be able to buy something amazing that they will then be wearing, spreading a message and helping sanctuaries and things at the same time. So yeah, I think I've found my niche. But, yeah.
I think that's what it's about as well. You don't have, if you suffer too much of anxiety, or you've got physical disabilities and you can't get out to a cube or a diamond, but you have a talent like you've got with regards to artwork or music, then do something like that, or write a poem and put a poem out there. You know, anything. Art's so powerful. You know, my favorite artist is Van Gogh, and when I saw his paintings in the flesh when I went to the south of France, I was in tears, because I've been in love with his artwork since I was a little girl, and to actually be stood in front of his artwork, it brought so many emotions up in me. And art does that for everybody.
It's so powerful, isn't it?
Yeah.
The other thing that I love doing now, well, I say love, that's the wrong word, I started doing is going to Vigils. So I've been to a couple at Tulip over in Westerly, and I've found well, before I went to my first one, I thought I was going to be horrific and I was going to be in tears the whole time. I managed to hold it together, and it was only like later in the day, once it was over, that it really hit me. But I found that it got me really fired up, and I felt really fearless about posting all the photos and basically writing completely unapologetic stuff about the animals that I'd seen and what was going to happen to them. So I'd recommend that to anybody as well. If you're near somewhere where vigils are held, go along and try it. It's heartbreaking, but it's so worth it. We need to get the truth out there, basically. So
Exactly. That's what you said there is exactly the same as I feel about vigils. I think that all vegans should do at least one vigil.
yeah,
Just one, because it put a fire in my belly as well. And I used those exact words. It literally fired me up. And I remember I'd not long been organizer for Bristol Cube of Truth. And I went to my first vigil at Tulip as well. And I was in pieces. I was in tears, and I knew it was going to be hard, but I really struggled emotionally with that whole day. But I remember saying to a friend of mine, going, I'm thinking that maybe I think I was doing like four cubes a month. We're doing one in the evening and then 3 like daytime ones. No, 2 evening ones, sorry, and 2 daytime ones, I think, something like that. I said, is it too much? And then after I went to that vigil, it's not enough. That's what I felt like. I need to do more. And I think all vegans feel like they need to do more. But like you said, it really did put a fire in my belly and want me to get out there and do more. Just saying goodbye to those poor babies. It's heartbreaking. You just want to take them all off the truck, don't
yeah.
you?
It's the hardest thing, not to just like rip the doors open or scream at all the people there, that are involved in, well, all the horrific stuff. But yeah, you can't. You've got to just stay calm, haven't you? And not.
You have. I watched a really interesting video recently as well, an interview, a YouTube friend of mine called The Vegan Poet. I think it's a vegan poet in 1973, and she interviewed.
Oh yeah, I recently started following her. Yeah.
Yeah, she's brilliant. I think she's fantastic. She's only been vegan since September, October, and only active since December. She's just flying with her activism. It's fantastic. But she interviewed a guy, and he is an ex-slaughterhouse worker, and he was saying how loads of people have, refugees have gone to Canada and they're given a job in a slaughterhouse and they're not really given the choice. So they've come from a war-torn country and they're faced with violence all day. So I think a lot of these people don't, I don't know how many times you've been to Tulip, but every time I've been, there's new staff starting, and it's always refugees and foreigners coming in, because it's the only job they can get usually, because they don't speak much English.
I was going to say, because nobody wants to do it, do they?
Yeah.
I mentioned previously, didn't I, about having to take a diversion to work and going past the dairy farm. On the opposite side of the road, there's a small butcher's with an attached abattoir. So I regularly see animals being delivered there, and they're actually advertising for staff there at the moment. And it's like the sign has been up on and off for months. It's like, how are they going to find somebody that actually is willing to do that? I don't know how anyone with a choice could want to do that. But, yeah.
Do you know what animals they slaughter there?
Oh, all sorts. So it's predominantly pigs, cows, and sheep, but they also do alpacas. I can give you a link to like their website and stuff if you want, because they're quite proud of. Because they also boast about how they can deal with, is it OTM cattle, like over 30 months or something. So I don't know if that's like the spent dairy cows, but it's like the dairy farm and the slaughterhouse are like directly opposite each other. It's quite the gauntlet to have to drive past that on my way to work. But I feel like I owe it to the cows. Yeah. I was speaking to Gordon at one of the vigils at Tulip about it, and he said he was going to look into it and what we'd be able to do. But it is only small, but like, don't even know how many cows they have in the dairy farm, and they're having a lot of building work and stuff done. So at first I was getting excited that they were like dismantling it and they were like going to be going out of business. And I can't remember the last time I actually saw any calves there, but I don't know if that's just because they're now in a different part that isn't visible from the road.
It may be. Are they in the separation crates then?
They were in just like a set, like They would have been able to hear each other, the mothers and the babies, but there was like a wall, and then they were behind like a 5-bar gate, but you could just clearly see them from the road. But yeah, I don't really know what's going on. I haven't been able to find anything out about the place online, so I don't really know what their deal is.
Yeah, they are clever at hiding what they're doing, really, aren't they? So how do you fit all of this into your life? Because obviously you've got a day job. So how do you fit
Yep.
your artwork and, you know, going to the cubes when we're not in lockdown? How do you fit it in?
So basically just any of my free time. Like if I've recently like been to a Vigil or something, kind of feeling more fired up, wanting to do some artwork, then like evenings and weekends I just like devote, like when I was doing the jackets behind me, I just spent every free hour that I had for several weeks, but it's probably more like months, just because of only having small amounts of time, just devoted it to that, because I was like, I'm going to do them, I'm going to finish them, I'm going to get them listed, and I'm going to raise some money. So yeah, and like cubes and things on the weekends. Evenings for me wouldn't be as feasible just because of where I am in relation to most of the places where they happen. So
Yeah,
that's why I can really only do those at weekends. But
yeah. Same, like working the week Monday to Friday, so I can't do stuff in the day. Like I always miss out on the Viva stuff and the Animal Justice Project stuff.
Yeah,
it's always weekdays.
yeah,
And
I see all of it, and I'm like, I would love to go and like try and be part of that, but I can't. So
yeah, it is hard, and it's balancing that like work, home, and activism life that, you know, I sometimes mess up and struggle with, but I get forgiven, so it's okay. My husband said I do enough
at least your
activism
husband's
for both
vegan
of us.
as well.
He is vegan, yeah, but he's not. Well, he is an activist now. He's an ambulance driver for Severn Wildlife Rescue. So he goes and drives bats to rescue where they've been picked up and takes them to a
Yeah.
carer, and hedgehogs and seagulls and things like that. And so yeah, he is doing that, and he said he's an activist enabler. That's his words. So he enables me to do my activism.
Well, there you go. At least he's supportive. That's good.
He is very supportive. And there was one time when we did a Cube of Truth, and George was away, and I forgot the masks. And George always used to bring the masks, and I had spare masks. And I'm sat there talking to everyone. We're about to set up, and I'm like, I don't have any masks. So I called my husband, and he drove 20 minutes into town with my masks, got them off, and drove back home again. I know, it's so nice. I'm so lucky. He may make a mess when he cooks, but at least he's helped me out that way.
Yeah.
There are pluses and minuses. And what does it mean to you to be an animal rights activist?
It makes me proud to feel like I'm making a difference, even if it is relatively small, because I am super proud to be vegan. Like, I couldn't imagine, well, I would never going to turn my back on it now, but I kind of look at past me and think, who was that person? Like, what was wrong with me? Why was I so brainwashed? It's great, and I would recommend doing whatever you can to anyone, because everything does make a difference. You shouldn't underestimate the impact that you can have. Even just talking to other people about why you're vegan or how you became vegan, it'll like plant seeds in people's brains, won't it? And it's all good. So yeah.
Exactly. Because you might not be the person that makes them go vegan, but that seed might have planted, and someone else will have an effect and plant another one. Like the girl I spoke to earlier in the year, and she went vegan because she saw a sticker. So she saw a vegan sticker, went home, found Joey Carbstrong, found a couple of other people, watched a bunch of videos, and then went vegan. But if it hadn't been for someone setting that sticker off, she might not have looked into it and might not have been curious. So, and that's why I think stickering is also powerful. And again, you don't have to talk to anyone.
Yeah, and you don't know who's going to see them. The same as when you share stuff online. Even if people don't actively like it, they've still seen it, and it's still putting the truth out there, isn't it? So the more of us that are doing that, the better.
Definitely. That's why I've deleted. I had like 3,000 people on my friend list on Facebook, and not of them I didn't know, they were just vegans. And like I find Veganuary, everyone just like adds each other. Like, right, unless I'm actually physically going to do activism with you, or have done activism, or you're my friend or family from the past, then I'm not going to add you anymore. It's what I've got to keep it like that. It gets too much. But I love putting non-vegan posts up and seeing how many people react, because it's like, well, you haven't hidden me yet. You haven't like, you are still, I know you're still friends with me, but you haven't like, you know, you can hide people. So yeah, that's always good. And what would you say to other people out there that are vegan and are maybe shy like yourself, or think that being vegan's enough and they don't need to do activism, what would you say to inspire them and encourage them?
I would say, and I've seen this so many times recently, that veganism is a non-action. Like, it's great that you're not eating animals and their secretions, but like the world isn't going to change by you just doing that. Even like we said, sharing stuff online on your social media, putting leaflets through people's doors, anything. Like, you don't have to speak to people. Basically, there's a type of activism that will fit everybody and their skill sets and their confidence levels. But if I can do it and I'm like socially inept, then anybody can do it, basically. So
well, I think you've been really relaxing and talking on it. You're not very good at talking to people, but I've really enjoyed the conversation. It's really flowed, and I think you're amazing for being, considering you think you're socially inept and that you're shy, and you've come to do street activism with us on the streets, and you've agreed to join me and do an interview that's going to go on YouTube. I think that's incredibly brave.
I was going to say, it's because it's for the animals. If it was for anything else, I'd be like, no, sorry, not interested.
That's the same as me. Like, whenever my anxiety is like in my throat and I can't breathe and I'm having a panic attack, like, it's not for you, Rebecca, you're doing it for the animals, and that really helps me get over it. Cool. Well, thanks very much for joining me, and I'll put all the links to the raffle. I'll pop your email address, the right email address, because I've donated money like 3 times now to the wrong address every time. And also your Instagram page, and hopefully people will, you know, get in touch and put a bid on these amazing jackets. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed that. Really enjoyed talking to Laura. We've only met a couple of times, but I felt like I was talking to an old friend, and we had so much in common. I wish I could have shared you some of the stuff we talked about off camera as well. We just had fun. It was a really nice interview. It was really easy to do. And I'm hoping that you've been inspired by her to create some artwork and maybe raise some money for an animal sanctuary. It seems like a lot of the artists do this, which I think is a fantastic thing. There are so many sanctuaries across the UK. There's a link below, if you are in the UK, to a Facebook page where you can find all the animal sanctuaries in the UK created by another amazing activist, and I will share an interview that I did with her up here, and check out the link below to her Instagram page and donate some money on her PayPal, and you could be in with a chance of winning one of her amazing jackets. So if you have been inspired, please comment. Let me know. If you do something similar, then please let me know. I want to big you up. Let's share your work around. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like and share the video. And I'll see you next time, Beans.